I'm ready now.
Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
And what can we expect?
Surprises!
Engineered by Jay Timko and produced by Eric Beatty. And without further delay, it's showtime! Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Hello. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Detroit Cast. I'm Mike, that's Jay, Eric, and Timko here. How's everybody doing?
Pretty good. Yeah. A little off rhythm here, a little later start.
Yeah, a little bit. Had some things to attend to, and of course it all takes time, and the one thing none of us have. So, but we got a lot to get to today on a Wednesday edition of the show. First off, we should thank everybody for the reaction. You know, we asked everybody to do their part and help us out with registering on our site, and a good couple hundred of you went there day one and jumped in and did that. So thank you guys all for doing that. It really, hopefully, will be a big help at some point here relatively soon. And for those of you who haven't done it yet, please take a minute, just go to the site, and if you can log in, or if you've already got an account, or not account, but a whatever, if you've got a profile and registered. If not, simply just click on the register and fill it out what you can. Some of it is mandatory, I guess, and some of it is just an option, so whatever you choose to do. But we definitely appreciate that. Anyway, getting on with the show, we got a lot to do today, including interesting story yesterday with Tony Dungy coming out and making his comments about Michael Sam, and basically said he wouldn't draft him. An update there. We'll see if he apologizes, if he's gravely sorry for stirring things up, because that kind of took off yesterday, that story.
Yeah, the story had a bit of a lull, and then Tony Dungy said something.
Like it was a big deal. Another Craigslist murder to discuss. These crazy stories, man. To me, at this point, like Craigslist,
it's synonymous, right?
Yeah,
with bad shit.
Yes, I don't want to sell anything there because I don't want someone to kill me. So forget it.
Do you know when I was in Holland, that's how I found the room I rented, was on Craigslist?
Well, millions of people use Craigslist.
No, I know, I'm just saying, but
to me, the first thing I think is fucking getting murdered.
I guess we just blew any chance at advertising with Craigslist, right?
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. You hear that, and you just go, ugh.
Yeah,
it sounded like you said Greg's List.
Greg's List?
Yeah, so we're okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. Another airline, some guy goes nutty on an airplane. Love these stories. Those are always fun. But why don't, and Charles Pugh popping up out of nowhere. He's responding to the lawsuit that the kid who allegedly was harassed sexually and all that whole story. We'll get into it in a minute here, but he's responded to it, and looks like he's going to defend himself in court. So,
awesome.
Good luck with that, Chuck.
Is he a lawyer? Do we know?
No, I don't think so. No.
Some of those city council members, you'd be surprised, like Monica Conyers.
Yeah,
lawyer.
But that's an actual council member. He was TV
the chief,
anchor.
Man.
Yeah,
he was the president.
He was the TV anchor
That's
in a
right.
fucked up, corrupt city.
Yeah.
I mean, it totally makes sense in a city like this that, yeah, sure, make him the president. Why not? That makes perfect sense. It's a popularity contest. And quickly, I guess we should touch on the Malaysian Airlines wreckage. They're saying it sounds like an utter disaster, and we've talked a lot about some of this stuff, but people are claiming now that the site and the wreckage, it has been significantly altered. They've got international monitors there, and they've been talking to a lot of the press outlets, ABC News, the AP, and random ones around the world, but they're saying specifically to ABC News, as remains of the victims arrived in the territory held by the Ukrainian government. So finally they're getting those bodies back. But they're saying major pieces of the front of the plane appear to have been cut away. That was a spokesman for the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Can we start shortening these damn names of these people? I'm so tired of these things. It literally takes up sentences to give me your damn name. it's driving me nuts. It's a little pet peeve of mine, I guess, if that's the word. But this guy from this group, which I'm not going to read again, which they're there from Europe, observing the crash site, and the investigators observed someone using power tools to cut into the wreckage. Rebels have said they had to move and alter big pieces to get bodies and body parts.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's going to be their story, right?
Sure, yeah. We're doing the humane thing.
Yeah.
Doing this for the benefit of finding bodies. They said that what they saw from this type of recovery was extremely invasive and not the way it's done. So the black boxes from the downplane were handed over to the Malaysian officials Monday, so that's a little bit of an update there. And lastly, in some of the places, the smell of decay and flies suggested the presence of remains under the wreckage, and observers said Monday that not all the bodies have been found and recovered at this point. So
gruesome.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that. You can tell you're just seeing a giant hunk of metal, and you can tell by the amount of flies and the smell that, yeah, there's dead people under there.
Mm-hmm.
God,
at least
dude,
parts.
What's
that? Parts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There's no way you can recover every part of every poor victim.
Yeah, you figure it just disintegrated in the air and floated down for miles. It's just a mess.
Have you seen what Russia's media is saying now?
No.
They're saying the CIA shot it down.
Oh sure. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, they're blaming Ukraine and the CIA. Why not? When every ounce of shit points to Russia themselves. So anyway, Charles Pugh. I mentioned Charles Pugh. He's come out and addressed this pending lawsuit against him by this teenage boy who's unnamed at this point for sex in response to a lawsuit. I wonder. Thousands of text messages. Like, unless your claim is that this was all a big scam and set up and things were doctored.
Somebody stole my identity.
Yeah, to set me up. I mean, unless that's your claim, what leg do you have to stand on? Seriously.
Especially when you're representing yourself. Pugh's a character, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
God, Pugh's a character.
He sure is.
Remember we read a story about him a few months ago where somebody just found him in New York working
waiting
as
tables.
A barista or something. Yeah,
he was waiting tables in that tiny restaurant. And they mention here that because he sent in this response to the lawsuit, it gave his new address for this place in Brooklyn at like $3,500 a month, which New York City apparently if you can swing $3,500 a month in rent. So I don't know what, maybe he's got 10 roommates, but he's denied offering this teenager money and gifts in exchange for sex, allegations that helped topple his career last year and sparked this federal civil rights lawsuit. His answer to the lawsuit was filed Monday in federal court. Pugh is representing himself, according to the filing. He denied sending regular text messages to the male teen, aggressively pursuing a sexual relationship, or paying extra attention to him. The teen, who's Detroit Public Schools in June, claiming his civil rights were violated. Well, whatever. I guess it doesn't matter. But the complaint alleges Pugh was given unprecedented access and control over male students at the school without any form of supervision, monitoring, or control by DPS, and alleges that when the team began participating in the leadership forum, Pugh began to provide extra attention and began to groom him in prep for making sexual advances. Now, the one thing, though, that they should point out that he was given unprecedented access and control over male students. Well, it was an all-male school.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of an important detail to include, wouldn't you think?
Make it look like he's just preying on just a certain group. Yeah. You know what?
Which he may be.
Sure.
However.
Sure. Yeah. Don't have to sell it like that.
Right.
Lawson is a totally no-nonsense judge. So nobody's going to be able to pull a fast one either side. I mean, he's going to see it through the right way.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
David Lawson.
Do you remember what happened with any criminal charges in this? Were they ultimately dropped, or did he plead to something low? I'm trying to remember.
In December, Oakland County Prosecutor Jessica Cooper said Pugh would not face criminal charges. So So this is just strictly money from the kid.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see here. Where was I?
This might be one that we send our correspondent to, because my man's not going to get this dismissed prior to trial.
That one would be, yeah, you're right. And this one would be a little harder to get into than Lakes Minivan USA or the other one that we're going to send Eric to.
I don't know that it would be that much harder.
That's going to be a circus. That will be a
my man over here. You don't think he could weasel in?
Oh yeah, he could. But
what do I have to do? I could get there a few hours before if I want to.
No, I know, but I mean, it's going to be.
Yeah.
If you got a situation like O.J. Simpson, you could get there as early as you wanted.
It's Pew.
Yeah, but you're going to have every media outlet in Detroit.
Sure.
There. Every one
including
of them,
the Detroit Cast.
Yeah. No, absolutely we should send him, but my point being, you're not going to sit there with empty benches around you.
Correct.
Like Lakes Minivan USA.
No, you're right.
The lack of respect for a guy that like Lakes Minivan USA was really kind of disappointing, to be honest with you.
That is a good point. There's not enough out there respect Lakes Minivan USA.
Yeah,
you're right.
I mean, it was horrendous, the crime he committed.
Right.
Admittedly. So, Lakes should have gotten a lot more respect from the general population as far as showing up.
Yeah, I'd go as far as to say there was not one person in that courtroom that was just general population.
Yeah.
I was the only one.
It's incredible, man.
I know.
Something that's covered that much in the media. Nobody's in there but Big E.
I know. And you are not part of the general population, my man.
Right,
you are a media member.
That's
the
true.
only media member there every day of trial. Big E.
That's a good point. The first day I was there, it was not 2, 4, or 7. It was only he had it there 5.
7 was there.
Not every day I was there.
Seriously?
I
could have sworn I saw them on
They might
TV
just do stuff
mostly.
right outside the
Oh,
courtroom.
you know what? You're right. That's true. They were, one of them was there the first
Yeah.
day, but they were not in the room. I was the only one in the room every day
Really?
I was there.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll just stand outside Oakland County Circuit Court, in front of the statue, and we're here,
Well, the video I saw, and it might be that the first day they weren't. I can't remember which day of the trial it was, but they absolutely had cameras in the courtroom.
Had him being led away and stuff. Yeah,
Well,
I do kind of
on the
remember
stand. Remember that picture I tweeted or posted?
Yes.
That was him on the stand. That was from Channel 7. So
Well,
I don't know which day it was though.
That was almost the last day of the trial, though, because
Yeah.
the day he was on trial. I went there 3 days.
It was
and
after
I
we
missed the
publicized
first
it.
day.
They got interested.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, and Eric, our responsible media person, the first thing he came back with was that prosecutor was pretty hot, if you
That's
remember.
important.
Yeah.
That was his first. His
That's
first.
very important. to
First
trial.
observation.
Hell yeah. Back to Pew, he denied the allegations, also denied offering to perform oral sex in exchange for money. Hilarious, huh?
I did love it. I mean, not child pornography. But
I did not have unsupervised access to students and was never alone with the students, Pew wrote. Really, Chuck? Come on, Chucker. Really? Never?
Maybe
Yes.
not on the school site, but come on, Chucker.
Yeah, knock it off. You took the guy to the mobile store and bought him a cell phone. I mean, if that's not...
And isn't the allegation that they're out in his car at some mall or something?
Yeah, buying the phone and clothes.
nice guy. Just trying to be a nice guy. Help the kid out.
Right. In exchange for a handy and a blowy, I mean, that's just the
Allegedly.
way it goes. Allegedly, yeah,
Things,
right.
Nothing's free.
He began helping the teen get a job. I mean, we do that for all students, right?
Right.
Of course.
No, just this one.
I mean,
Really?
multiple.
Just the cute one?
Yeah.
We buy them clothes for the job interview, give them money. I mean, so far so good. We do this for every student.
No, just the one.
During this time,
You're so cynical.
the teen's mom saw text messages sent from Pew to her son and believed the messages were from a girl who had a crush on him. Close. Someone had a crush on him. Just the whole girl thing was the only problem there. Pew then took the teen. Pew. That name just kills me.
Yeah.
I don't know
Pew.
how. I don't know how. There's so many names like that in the trials that I don't know how people like. I would laugh every time if I said that. If I was on news, I'd be like Pew.
No, you wouldn't. You didn't laugh at Lakes Minivan USA.
Well, that's true.
You're a professional.
Well, that's true. 13 years.
Pew then took the teen to Metro PCS in Madison Heights, bought him a cell phone. That same evening, he began text messaging the plaintiff on a regular basis, aggressively pursuing the plaintiff for a sexual relationship, offering him money and gifts in exchange for sex or videos of the plaintiff, either or.
He buys him a phone so he can. God.
Yeah.
Oh.
Police obtained more than 100 pages of text messages.
Well, and they
between Pew
released
and the
some of
teen.
these. Or
Oh,
we're
yeah.
seeing some of them.
Well,
come on, Pew.
Do any of them stand out to you?
remember he was like, just if according to what this police,
Allegedly.
it was an overt just proposition than anything. Like Solo was worth more.
Oh
And
yeah.
you had to be naked
Yes.
and walking around. Didn't he want him walking around at one point, I think?
He definitely wanted Solo.
The thing I remember most of that was when the curtain started to come down,
Oh,
and
yes.
when he was like, "Oh my God, we can fix this. Tell your mom to call me. It's gonna ruin my career. You can't say anything. I don't know what." And then he goes into that mode of like, "All I was doing was trying to help you. I'm just trying to help a poor student and do the best I can.
Yeah.
That's all I've ever wanted to do was help you." Like
Damage
total,
control.
absolute damage control. You know, that's the one thing that I totally remember was he knew, oh shit, it's over. Fix.
Well, and that's when he ran to New York.
Me.
Remember, he just left.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I need a disability leave," and the emergency manager guy's like, no. And so he just left, and he didn't hear anything about him until this couple or whatever ran into him at a restaurant.
Had no idea where he was. They
no
had
idea.
no idea. He went to New York, wouldn't answer phone calls, wouldn't answer texts, media, everybody's trying to get a hold of him, and gone. No response.
The president of the council.
Remember going around New York City hanging up flyers on like 8.5 by 11 paper with Pew's face on it. Have you seen this man?
You talk about denial, man. My man went into serious denial. Didn't happen. I'm out of here.
He must have been just humiliated that his good name was trounced, and all by his own doing. But
Do you remember he went to Seattle first because they spotted him in Seattle before he went to New York? There's that picture. He was in a coffee shop or something.
Maybe that's
in
what I'm
Seattle.
thinking of. I seem to remember a barista situation or something.
Yeah, because he went to Seattle. They got a picture of him in the coffee shop, and then he ended up in New York after that.
Yeah.
Waiting at tables.
Zigzagging the country in denial.
Yeah. I definitely. Well, yeah, I guess, you know what? I talked to Dina at one point, who was his partner on Fox 2. And, yeah, Dina did say something about Seattle. I don't know if he might have family or something there even. But whatever, it doesn't matter. But either way, he definitely went to New York, and it sounds like he's still living there, you know, according to the his note to the courts or whatever, his response. They said they've got 100 pages of text messages between Pew and the teen, many centered around him offering money for nude videos of the teen in sexual situations. Whatever that means. 100 pages. That is one hell of a conspiracy to take down the... Boy, someone... Of course, then he asked the teen not to tell anyone about their conversations several times in the text messages. Yeah.
Everybody knows you can trust a teen with, you know, text messages,
sure,
and dick pics, and
especially when money and sex is involved. Why wouldn't they be? Yeah. You know, we've talked a lot about these toiks and the fact that it's just not possible. I'm sorry. If you got a 13-year-old boy and a hot teacher, and she is sending nude pictures to him or jagging him off, like, that's not going to scar that boy. Where flip the roles, it would. Now, would this scar that boy? I guess if he's not, if he's not gay, it probably would be extremely scarring.
Confusing.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Me off, Jack.
I just gotta think that if some guy is offering me a phone and clothes, like, that's all fine and good. I could see as a high school kid, like, yeah, cool, this guy seems all right, man. He's looking out for me. He's going to help me get this job. I could see taking the phone. I could see text. The second he went, hey, how about you pull out that sweet dong of yours and send me a quick picture? You're like, hey, how about you fuck off, asshole? Send. I mean, like,
the light bulb would go off, you're saying?
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. There would be no confusion.
Yeah.
There would be no gray area.
Continued negotiation.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I mean,
Eric's like, I'd think about it.
No,
I'd have to think about
if
it.
I was a poor kid, I mean, I wouldn't have sex with him. But if you wanted some, you know, if it kept meaning that I was going to keep getting some money in the pocket, man.
Oh my God.
You'd give him some solo?
Yeah, probably, dude.
Yeah.
I would not do anything. I would never do anything. But
if it progresses like that, though, Eric, if it progresses and now you're comfortable, you've jacked off thousands of times.
You might as well now,
You've
right?
made a good $100, $200 for all the videos you've
It
sent.
has to be some real money too. It has to be more than just a few hundred.
Yeah, $500,
Okay,
man,
yeah.
and you're blowing him. You're just
Dude, I might do that right now. I would do that right now. If someone wanted to pay me to do that, I would do it right now. I'm not. Who am I kidding? I'm serious.
Who am I kidding? Anyone want to blow Eric for $500 or get blown by Eric? for
Again,
$500?
ladies, this guy's single.
No, I mean, I'm just saying taking pictures. I'm saying if anybody wanted just me to send them random pictures of my dong and they wanted to pay me $500, I'd do it in a
Holy
second.
shit, dude.
I need money, man.
I wish so bad I had $500, just so I could post it online.
And I would do it.
I know you would.
Hey, folks, hit that donation button.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, someone wants to hit the donation button, but that and have that be in the line. I'm in.
Oh man.
God.
Michael Sam, boy, this story is hilarious. It's just not going to go away. And we mentioned earlier about Tony Dungy and his comments, rather honest comments. The situation and
It's just factual is the thing,
He's asked a question, right? And what are you going to say? It looks bad if you go, no comment. Like, would you draft Michael Sam? No comment. What is you, homophobic? You can't even comment on the gay guy? Like, there's no real way to answer. So I don't know what you want people to do. If every time you ask a controversial question or something that is a sensitive nature or
you better give the right answer.
Yeah, if every time you're going to throw that question out there in someone's face, expecting an answer, you better be prepared for it's not the answer that you want to hear. It's their answer that they're giving. And I'm thinking specifically about the Miss America pageant where the girl was asked about gays, where the gay guy, of course, asked her about blah, 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 gay things. And she's basically a hardcore Christian and went, hey, listen, in my beliefs, in the Bible, it says it's a sin. And, I don't wish harm or ill will on anybody. She had a well thought out answer. But most people were shocked that and not just immediately follow suit with what, people
Would
think
be the
you're supposed to.
answer.
Yeah, the popular answer, which is, oh, everybody, it's all about love, and who you love is who you love, and who am I to say? Like,
morals are relative, yeah.
Right. So she actually stood up for what she believed and what she's believed her whole life, and that was her answer. It's not something I necessarily agree with. It's not something that a lot of people agree with. They don't have to. They didn't ask me. They didn't ask you. They asked her, and she gave her answer. So if you're going to take that answer, which was well thought out and educated in its own way, and if you're going to spit that back in her face like she's a monster, well, then what are you asking of people? Do you want them to lie to you? Is that the answer?
A lot of these are tests, yeah.
Yeah.
It's become a test.
If I and say the popular thing that place to be, because that's basically what this boils down to when you talk about Tony Dungy. He's now responded, and usually what we would see is, oh my God, I'm sorry. When I read my comments back, I realized how insensitive they were. Pernicious and ill-informed, and I'm terribly, deeply, deeply sorry if it, blah, 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 blah. The horse shit answer, the stock horse shit apology. You'll be glad to know that Tony Dungy, and I scoured this, in no way says I'm sorry for anything. Not at all. But I love it that 24 hours after this story in the Tampa Tribune comes out saying, what his answer was to the question about drafting him. He says, this story was published. He comes out and says, there was a story issued about, I was asked these questions, blah, 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 and sought to bring clarification to comments. So he issues this statement. On Monday afternoon, while on vacation with my family, I was quite surprised to read excerpts from an interview I gave several weeks ago related to this year's draft, and I feel compelled to clarify those remarks. I was asked whether I would have drafted Michael Sam, and I answered that I would not have drafted him. I gave my honest answer, which is that I felt drafting him would bring much distraction to the team. At the time of my interview, the Oprah Winfrey reality show that was going to chronicle his first season had just been announced. I was not asked whether or not Michael Sam deserves an opportunity to play in the NFL. He absolutely does. I was not asked whether his sexual orientation should play a part in the evaluation team? I would not. I have been asked all of those questions several times in the past few months, and have always about merit. The best players make the team, and everyone should get the opportunity to prove whether they're good enough to play. That's my opinion as a coach. But those were not the questions I was asked. What I was asked about was my philosophy of drafting, a philosophy that was developed over the years, which was to minimize distractions for my teams. I do not believe his sexual orientation will be a distraction to his teammates or his organization. I do, however, believe that the media attention that comes with it will be a distraction. Unfortunately, we're seeing this play out now, and I feel badly that my remarks played a role in this distraction. I wish him nothing but the best in his quest to become a star in the NFL. I'm confident he will get the opportunity to show what he can do on the field. My hope is that he will be able to focus on his play and not his sexual orientation.
Perfect. That
Awesome.
guy's smart.
Isn't he?
Very smart guy.
Yeah. And one of the most, for those that aren't aware or don't follow the NFL or couldn't give a shit less about the NFL, he's one of the most well-respected and thought of as one of the smartest coaches in the league. You know, he's not currently a coach, but he's one of the most well-respected African Americans in the history of the league, really.
Mm-hmm.
And he really is. Tons of people wanted him to be the Lions coach, and still do.
Yeah, wasn't there a big groundswell for him to come to Michigan a little while
Well,
ago?
he's from here.
But no, to coach Michigan.
Oh, was there?
And, you know,
remember
names
the Lions
get thrown
one.
out like that. I definitely remember the Lions as well. But I
Yeah.
swear there was a push for him during the last opening at Michigan, and would have been a fine choice. The dude's smart,
Oh,
but a guy
gosh,
like that, why
imagine.
would you want to come to the recruit? Full-time job that is.
Yeah.
But what a great answer, you know.
Uh-huh.
He just kind of reset the context. Very important that he gave those opinions when that reality show was pending. I mean, it was a huge distraction on the horizon,
Yes.
and his comments, I'm sure, in large part, were about that.
Yeah.
But to just say that the way he did, it's perfect.
Yeah, to lay him out. Do I think this? I do not. Blah, 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 blah. No, I don't. Yes,
Yeah.
Extremely specific, to the point. Bang, here's what it is. I gave my honest answer. That's all I can do.
It just extinguishes that whole effort by the media to run with that. Ooh, create an enemy, a villain in this situation. Who would
Yeah.
have thought it'd be Tony Dungy? Oh, this is a great story. Run. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's move with the story. And he's like, no.
Yeah. Just clip that right out. Cut that out under the knees right there.
Well done, Tony.
Yeah. And you started to see that groundswell really kick up yesterday. I don't know if you saw Keith Olbermann.
No.
He had a I don't know if it was an article or if it was on one of his shows or something, but he came out and I guess he does some, I don't know if it's a reoccurring bit or something, but it was something like the world's worst sports person of the week or something like that, and he picked Tony Dungy because of these comments. And basically his whole thing was, as an African American coach, how about if someone didn't want the distractions of hiring you when they gave you a chance? That whole deal. And the fact is, like, he wasn't asked that. He wasn't asked about being a black coach in the NFL. He was asked, would you draft this guy? He answered the question.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does one have to do with the other? The media attention wouldn't be there on the first assistant coach hired as a black guy. It's just not. It's not a sexy story.
It was a clear effort to turn the guy into the villain.
Right.
And Olbermann was just playing into that.
Yeah, asshole.
Yeah, he was. The whole Michigan thing was back in 2011.
Oh, okay.
We remember him now saying that he was glad they didn't call, because he was never a serious candidate, but he was thrown out.
Yeah.
Would have been a good one.
Well, the coach we have now, I mean, his pedigree is in his tree, coaching tree. He's directly under the Caldwell is from the Tony Dungy. I think Dungy personally endorsed him.
Absolutely.
I
remember.
I actually saw, I forget who the player was, but on SportsCenter the other day, they were going through the divisions, and one of the guys picked, I forget he was an ex-player, but he picked the Lions to win the division, and his reason being was the coach, Jim Caldwell. He thought,
really,
yeah.
And
I know this is kind of off topic. I'm just throwing.
Probably Ray Lewis, right? Probably Ray Lewis, former Raven.
It definitely wasn't Ray Lewis.
No. Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. It definitely wasn't Ray Lewis.
I've seen them picked to be like the third worst team in the league, and I really don't think they're going to be as bad. I don't know where this is coming. I mean, I know where it's coming from because it's the Lions, but it seems like really these experts with the roster you see with the Lions, you really think they're going to be the 4th worst team in all of football? I mean, it just seems like that
offense looks potent.
Yeah, it does. I mean, who knows? We'll see as it goes, but it just seems like
maybe not Super Bowl winners, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
But no, but I'm saying 4th worst in the league. I don't buy that.
Thanks for qualifying that, Eric. Maybe they won't be Super Bowl winners. Yeah.
Really, I'm just saying.
We've before, but it's worth quickly mentioning again the top selling NFL jerseys. They've got an updated one, which from April through present day, one of the best selling football bought.
Breeze, Manning.
Right.
Yeah, Breeze
Brady.
At 8. Brady at 7. Manning is at 3.
Adrian Peterson. No? Is Calvin on there?
Calvin is on there. Calvin is at 24.
Wow. I thought that might
Peter.
deep.
Yeah, he's at 14.
RG3, I see there.
Yeah. J.J. Watt is on there. Andrew Luck at 25. Cam Newton.
I would not have thought J.J. Watt.
Yeah, J.J. Watt.
Oh, I know he's huge. I know he's
he might have been the best-selling or
no shit.
top couple. Yeah, a year ago. So he was huge. Yeah. Kaepernick is way up there. He's at like 4, and Patrick Willis is on there too at 22. Of course, the number 12 fan jersey, Seattle, is number 10.
Ridiculous.
The 12th fan jersey.
Stupid.
And best of all, of course, is at number 6, which is the number 96 Rams jersey.
Yeah.
Michael Sam.
Oh, yeah.
He'll never be cut, Mike.
No. Well, he might be cut. He's got a beautiful cut. Yeah, well, that's Vito.
What is going to happen to that?
He's going to make the team.
And then what?
And he's going to play special teams, and they're going to have an isolated camera on him the whole season, and you're going to watch him run around, and you're going to watch him get blocked, watch him dive into a tackle.
No, the Rams have 2 choices. They can be, keep this guy on the roster and be this great organization, or they can be homophobic monsters who dared to cut this guy who probably deserves a start on any team, is a definite All-Pro, but they're such a homophobic team that they cut him loose.
Wait, what about this? Will they retire his number?
That's what I was going to say. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's going to retire. Number 96, hanging from the rafters.
Have a night and they'll put it up.
And it's. But
69.
I see what he's doing by going the reverse 69. He wanted 69 bad, but they were like,
"Yeah, Michael, let's ease into this."
That's like getting drafted by the Packers for you, Sam. We're not doing that. The Browns can't draft you, the Packers can't draft you, and you can't wear number 69.
Public's not quite ready for that. Yeah. Next year,
we'll go 96. Good enough. And he's like, "Okay, Vito can be the 6. I guess I'll be the 9." That'll work.
Them retiring his number, like what if he? Because he'll have an endless career, so he'll have a 15-year plus career, and then he'll retire.
Especially when he was worried that football may have turned its back on him.
I know.
I mean, it was close. It was touch and go for the 7th round draft pick. Who?
Do you, for real, on the spot,
undersized.
Do you think they retire his number? And
no.
Okay.
The LGBTQIH, LMNOP, WXY, and Z community might retire his jersey. They already have, probably. I could see the Rams going with an alternate rainbow jersey at some point. That'd be cool.
Oh my God!
Instead of the ram horn, just kind of a rainbow swirl there.
Swirl,
It could work. That could work.
It's mind-numbing to me because I know we're all a lot of this is in jest, but you do know they're not going to fire this guy.
No, they're not.
And it's so crazy to think about
His coach was at the award show with him, hugging him and weeping.
So what is going to happen when he sucks? I mean, they're just going to, his contract will come up and they'll just renegotiate it instantly?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't have agreed a few months ago, but I really do agree that they can't.
They're going to hope he gets injured, and they're going to play up any little minor injury. They're going to be like, Mike, that toe stub, that looked bad. You're gonna want to sit this one out.
Yeah.
Ooh, that looks like it hurt.
Risks.
Looks like it hurt. Ingrown toenail, Mike. Sit.
Yeah,
We can't have that get worse.
We've got a potential career ender here. Yeah, it'll be very interesting, and we'll all be following it.
Oh yeah.
Just like
I can't wait in a way. I will say this, as stupid as it is, I almost can't wait for it for that first week.
And that's what they're banking on.
I know it's stupid, but it's hard not to get sucked up into it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're still a bit away from any games of meaning being played or
Long way.
roster cuts.
This is
like
the
that.
worst time, in my opinion, because you get excited about it.
Yeah.
What did rookies report yesterday or whatever?
Yeah, earlier this week, Monday maybe.
You start to get excited about it, and then you have those damn exhibition games.
Ugh.
And you just limp toward August 28th or whatever
Yeah.
it is. Like, come on, it can't come soon enough.
Yeah.
It's just awful.
They've got to do away with those stupid exhibition games. They have to.
So dumb.
It's shocking to me that they haven't weeded that shit right out. As much as they're
Brutal.
trying to protect these players,
Well, and every year there's 2 or 3 that go down. Big players.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. And it's just knowing what it is. It's purely about lost revenue. The fact that you buy season tickets, you have to take the 2 home preseason
That
games.
was the
Shameless.
worst.
It is. As if they don't generate enough money.
Yeah, I heard something. I think it was a package, a certain Lions package. It was just sort of one ear out the other, but this probably isn't exactly correct. But it was like buy a certain package of teams, and you also have to buy the bowl game, like 4 tickets to whatever bowl game is
the
still
freaking
there.
Motor City
Yeah,
Bowl.
Motor City.
Are you?
Wow.
And so it's like, dang, man, that's such an overt, tack on of
yeah.
just pay us $300 more, basically.
Yeah. It's such bullshit. I can't. There's only 16 games, so there's definitely something there with the money they make, but the TV contracts alone should more than cover anything that they could. I mean, you're just not talking about that much money in the big picture.
People are doing it though until they see people not do it and refuse and really stand up. Oh, I'm not buying tickets this year.
Yeah.
And then people not replace them in line.
But the fact is, nobody goes to those games. They don't even go.
Isn't that even more remarkable? And they keep paying. It's just.
I don't know if I ever, and if I mentioned this, maybe you can tell me to just forget about telling the story. But the time when I had season tickets and they kept going up and up, and I emailed in, I was so mad that I emailed into the ticket office, multiple customers in it, just as if this guy in the ticket office. I was like, this team went fucking 6 and it's 10, and they've gone up every year I've had them, and this is bullshit. And he called
generic
back,
pissed off fan guy.
right? And he called back our house. But the thing is, because when I first bought my season tickets, I didn't have a credit card. I actually bought them. My mom bought them, but I was paying them every year.
Yeah.
So he called back and talked to my mom and yelled at her about it. And he was like,
We yelled at her?
Yes. He said, I got this email and it really upset me, and maybe we don't want fans like that going. He literally told my mom that because of my email, I was lucky that he didn't provoke my Lions season tickets. They didn't take them away from me.
Oh my God! Did your mom get mad at you?
Oh, to this day, my mom and dad are still mad at me about that. I've said to this day, I've told my dad, I said, okay, I admit, looking back on it, I wish I wasn't necessarily sworn so much. I get it. I'm just emailing a ticket office, but I do not regret that letter. I don't. And my dad to this day, I disagree. My dad.
Your dad knows how to write a letter.
I was just gonna say, does your dad regret writing a letter to a 16-year-old in high school?
I wish I would have known about that when we were having this argument. But no, he literally called up my mom and gave her this thing about, I don't know if we want fans like you at this game. And I was like, holy fucking fans that keep shelling out money. I had season tickets in the worst era in Lions history, the 8 years that they were winning 4 games.
Yeah, 0.
That was the first year I didn't have them, actually.
Yeah.
But it was just funny because it was I'll threaten. I wish I would have said, fine, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Take away my $400 a year.
Oh, that's funny, dude. No, I've never heard that. Edward Snowden back in the news again today. I know you're a big fan, Jay, of Mr. Snowden, the former NSA contractor. Says analysts who monitored the texts and emails of millions of Americans would sometimes share intercepted nude photos and sex texts with colleagues.
Why is he saying this now?
Yeah, I don't know. I believe that. I believe that. I'll say I believe that any company in America where you've got people that work together every day and know each other, there's no way if I was sitting at my desk and got a hot nude pic. Christ, I got a nude pic of a guy and I showed all you guys.
That's true. And we all looked at it.
And you
Oh,
did.
let me see his calves.
Yeah. And his feet and his
That's right.
landing strip. Like,
Yeah.
So I think
Dick,
it'd be.
You are a cult leader. I swear to God.
But if you would have shown up with a picture, I would have looked at it.
Yeah.
Why not? You know?
Saw my mustache picture.
That's right. Yes, we should share those with everybody.
Freaking
Your,
hilarious.
Chaplin one. Is that how we're gonna? Is that how we're gonna do it?
Yeah, it's a chaplain.
It's Charlie Chaplin.
I was laughing.
Time after 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah. You grow a spectacular mustache.
Documented, and I hit Big E with one Friday night or whatever. Just
lamb chops.
No, it's just the random porn stash.
Yeah.
I knew he'd like it, man. You like that one?
Oh, I don't know.
Can
how
we
many
post that?
was I, but under
That was a
text.
great porn stash pic. The goofy look on your face,
Yeah.
like, hey, come hither.
You can,
Well, I don't know why Snowden is choosing this time to come out and drop a.
Is this a new interview or something? What's going on?
Yeah, well,
Because he was on with Brian Williams a month ago. It would have.
I think The Guardian was the did originally. I think. Well, he's given a lengthy interview over the weekend with The Guardian. He said he and his colleagues sometimes doubted the ethics of what they were doing. Many of the people searching through the haystacks of information were young, enlisted guys, 18 to 22. In the course of their daily work, they stumble across something that is completely unrelated in any sort of necessary sense. For example, an intimate nude photo of someone in a sexually compromising position or situation, but they're extremely attractive. So what do? They turn around in their chair and they share it with a coworker. And their coworker says, "Oh, hey, that's great. Send it to Bill." Down the way, Bill sends it to George, and sooner or later, this person's whole life has been seen by all these other people. He told The Guardian that the analysts were comfortable sharing the information because they worked in small offices where everyone knew everyone else. It's never reported because the auditing of these systems is incredibly weak. The proof of that, he said, was in his own situation. A 29-year-old walked in and out of the NSA with all of their private records. What does that say about their auditing? They didn't even know. But he defended his colleagues, saying they were normal people, not mustache-twirling villains. Those who objected to the NSA snooping would not complain because they saw what previous whistleblowers had to live with, pulled out of their shower at gunpoint naked in front of their families. We all have mortgages. We all have families. He's expressed an interest, by the way, to the United States, but he fears an unjust trial on charges of espionage and theft of government property could result in a lengthy prison sentence. So, yeah.
Still in Russia then, is he?
Yeah, he must be, right? He couldn't go anywhere else. Yeah. I wonder if he'll ever get back. You think he'll ever come back?
No.
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 Do you think that they would ever go after him?
No. Try to go into Russia to get. They'd make some deal, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, they do that all the time.
I wonder if it would depend whether if he kept throwing stuff out at some point. You know, he threw out the wrong document. It was like, okay,
yeah, okay, that's enough.
Yeah,
right.
Enough of this
Send
little
a cruise
game.
missile in. Just
yeah. Yeah. Well, why don't we take a quick 2-minute break and then we'll come back and an airline passenger. Whew, not looking good for him. He's facing some serious time, dude. You do not want to get on a plane and fuck around.
No, you don't.
Not today. They do not take it lightly. That and then the Craigslist story I mentioned earlier. We'll get into that as well. And some of your email. We got a lot of email.
A lot of email to cover, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do some of that in a little bit too. Next on the Detroit Cast.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break. Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
Welcome back to the Detroit Cast, Wednesday edition of the show. Mike and Jay here, and a few things left to do here for today. I mentioned a couple times this airline passenger, unruly airline passenger, and I don't know why it should make a difference. I guess could you have the bitch about? Why would you risk anything happening to the fact that you live in paradise?
That's a good point.
You really want to screw that up, my man? But yeah, this Hawaii man could face up to 20 years in federal prison after authorities said he threatened to kill several flight attendants and claimed to have a bomb while on board a British Airways flight.
Bomb, 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 bomb.
From London to Los Angeles.
Holy shit.
London, L.A., Hawaii. Dude, where's the problem? He's 20, by the way. FBI agents arrested Kevin Moselle of Kauai, Hawaii.
Kauai. What was his blood alcohol?
It doesn't look like Kauai. K-I-H-E-I. That's not Kauai.
Okay.
Kihi? I don't know.
Kihe.
Kihe?
Kihe?
Kihe? They arrested him at L.A. International Airport on Monday and charged him with interference with the flight crew, which carries a maximum of 20 years. According to the arrest affidavit, the 20-year-old told FBI agents he had several drinks during a nine-hour layover in London before boarding his LA-bound flight. After he was approached about his behavior about 2 hours into the flight, he threatened several flight attendants, saying, "I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to open this door and I'm going to set off a bomb." Asshole. A flight attendant who tried calming Moselle said his eyes were bloodshot and he seemed to be intoxicated. Another flight attendant found a couple small wine bottles and 2 small whiskey bottles near his seat. Neither bottle was sold on the flight. When the plane's captain warned Moselle about his behavior, he mocked him, saying, "Ooh, El Capitan, can I pretend to be a stewardess?"
Oh, wow.
Good one.
Yeah.
Ooh, El Capitan. What an asshole to the pilot.
Yeah.
Can I pretend to be a stewardess? He dared the captain to divert the flight, saying, "You won't land for just one person." 4 flight attendants later handcuffed and restrained him. He struggled despite being handcuffed and spit on 2 of the flight attendants, saying, "You better let me out or I'm going to kill you and open the aircraft door, and I will find you on you."
God. I was going to suggest maybe a mulligan for my man when you first started reading this, but this is getting pretty bad.
Yeah. He admitted to threatening the flight attendants and cursing at them, saying he just went crazy when he was restrained. He allegedly apologized while speaking with the FBI, saying, "It's all my fault, and I'm mad at myself." Yeah. He was freed on $10,000 bond. His arraignment was scheduled for August 4th.
That's one where you sort of wish you had a friend with you, but if it were me and you or one of our friends back in the day, it would have been 10 times worse.
Yeah,
but a lot of people, I think,
joined in and helped.
Right, it would have been ridiculous. But
El Capitan! Now you got 2 clowns doing the El Capitan routine.
Yeah, you got his hat on. You got all that shit. But
yeah, we would have totally egged each other on. It would have been ugly.
But most people, I think, a friend maybe would have been able to calm. Like, for example, we had the goddammit guy not too long ago on the flight from Las Vegas. Again, in somewhat of a paradise, freaking out on the plane. Remember that?
Yeah.
He's coming back from Vegas, or going to Vegas, freaks out, and he's got the daughter trying to calm him down.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah.
I think you need a wingman.
Yeah, but see, she was very unsuccessful. Wasn't that his daughter, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was even unsuccessful in that case.
Well, you need a wingman.
Wingman, yeah. Definitely been times when
you're a freaking hair away.
Oh,
yeah.
And because at one point in this story that I read on this guy, Hawaii kid, he'd said to the FBI that before any altercation, when they got in his face, that he was joking and laughing and talking to the staff, which, God damn it, Derek and I, God damn it, son, Derek, he and I have absolutely been on flights to Los Angeles and Vegas, where on one flight we met a guy who owned a bunch of hotels, was a big, some big player, and And so Derek and I befriended him quickly in the back of the plane, and he was buying drinks. Derek and I probably had half a case between us before we boarded the plane, and then proceeded to drink the entire flight. I mean, like arm in arm, singing songs, distracting to the entire plane, just sloppy, loud, drunk, obnoxious assholes. And this guy loved us because you got we were barely 21 at the time, and just animals, animals. Absolutely. But if someone had turned on, God damn it, son, at that point, I wouldn't have been like, calm down. I would have joined in the party and. Yeah.
Now, that's the problem with our personalities, though. But I think most people it would have helped to have somebody with a dude, chill, you know?
Yeah.
Voice of reason.
I remember when we got in trouble for jumping on stage at a concert, you and I remember being in the back of a police cruiser at one point and trying to steal his hat.
There you go. You don't think we would have had El Capitan's hat?
Yeah. And that's, I mean, the mindset you have to be in to like so not take it seriously that you're in the back of a police cruiser and that this is an opportune time to steal the cop's hat.
Steal the cop's hat.
Yes.
Yeah. Seemed very reasonable at the time.
Extremely reasonable. And was anybody trying to? I can't remember who it was, you or me, trying to take the hat. But I can promise you this: if Jay was taking the hat, I was in no way stopping him from taking the hat. And if I was taking the hat, Jay was in no way stopping me from taking the hat. So it's not like we had each other's back to make sure the other didn't get in trouble.
Yeah, it was not a healthy mix.
Yeah. It's remarkable that we're not staring down 20 years and wrapping up 20 years right now, you know. And this story is brutal. And when I found out they were from Michigan, I was shocked we didn't know more about this or hear more about this. I feel like I'm in tune to enough newspapers and TV. Is it possible to miss a story like this? But I don't know. A pregnant teenager and her boyfriend were murdered after arranging to meet a stranger for sex through the website Craigslist. Police. Now it was in Grand Rapids. It wasn't the suburbs of Detroit or anything. But told the police in Grand Rapids told reporters the victims arranged to meet Brady Ostrike through one of Craigslist's online sex personnel sections. According to emails found by investigators, Brooke Slocum, 18, had arranged to meet Ostrike for a sexual encounter if he paid for it. She planned for her boyfriend, Charles Openier, to also be present. Now, I said that kind of quickly, but she's 8 months pregnant, arranging to have sex with a stranger that she met on pages of Craigslist.
I could see it in reverse. Some dude into pregnant chicks.
Yeah. Why would an 8-month pregnant girl who's 18 be arranging sex with a stranger online or through Craigslist and I'm going to bring my boyfriend and it'll make it a threesome? 8 months pregnant.
Bizarre, man.
That makes no sense.
Which one's her? Let me see.
Yeah, she's the one there, the girl.
I can't tell. It looks like a butchy chick on the other.
Yeah, you're right.
Nice.
But this story's only getting started. Slocum was held captive at Ostrike's Wyoming home for 5 days before she was killed. So she's in this monster's house for 5 days in Wyoming.
Well, Wyoming, Michigan.
Okay, Wyoming, Michigan? Is that
Probably.
what they mean? Okay. Okay, that's the suburb outside Grand Rapids. Thank you. Thank you both. Okay. Her body was found in the trunk of his car on Thursday. She was 8 months pregnant at the time of her death.
Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me this.
What? Police obtained...
He took the fetus.
No.
Okay.
Wow, you made it worse than it possibly could have been. Nice job, Jay.
It's going to be smooth sailing from here, everybody.
Yeah, right. Police obtained a search warrant for Ostrike's home. He fled from police, crashed his car, and then fatally shot himself after the crash. That's when police discovered her body. That's when they discovered her body. Police also suspect that he murdered Openier, the boyfriend. They suspect he murdered Openier. Now, he's killed himself at this point, and they found her. Chief James Carmody says her boyfriend, Openier, was found decapitated in a park a day earlier. His head has not been found.
Oh, God.
It's likely that Openier died of some kind of head trauma, but that couldn't be determined without his head being found.
Oh.
That I swear to God, when I read that, I thought, okay, who's the clown? This has got to be a joke, right? Is this a joke?
My first guess would be neck trauma, but
his head hasn't been found. It's likely he died of some kind of head trauma, but that couldn't be determined because we have not found his head.
Well, the rest of the body was pristine.
You're doing an amazing job holding back on the laughter that you are dying to burst out with.
Bizarre,
as am I. But that quote, if that was said to me, if I was there as a respected member of the media, and a police sergeant was standing there with his silly mustache, and he said, well, yeah, the head hasn't been found yet, Mr. Walters. It's likely, though, we believe that Open Ear probably died from some kind of head trauma, but we can't say for certain yet because we have not found the head. It would be near impossible for me not to laugh at that point.
I would have said, Sergeant, how can you be sure it wasn't neck trauma? That would have been my response.
Oh, my God.
Fucking gross. Can people just be done with these back page Craigslist ads?
Why can't you ever just like, hey, you're getting sex. You're soliciting sex. You've got someone taking you up on it, coming over to the crib. How about you just enjoy a little sex, blow a load, go about your day? Where do we get into this thing like murder someone, cut off heads, and then hide heads? Like, where does it turn and go from there? I can't imagine. Like, your plan had to have been like something this awful all along.
Right.
You would think.
God, it's just awful.
Yeah. Investigators searched through Oesterreich's Wyoming home, which the chief called a hellish environment. They recovered more than 400 items connected to the case. Included in those items were dozens of firearms, knives, ammunition, computers, cameras, electronic monitoring devices, as well as items that belonged to the couple. Also discussed, the chief, he discussed this guy's criminal history, which included a couple domestic assault complaints filed by his ex-girlfriend. So they immediately, oh my God, find the ex-girlfriend. She's alive and okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's some kinky shit, though. You're 8 months pregnant.
Yeah.
You and your boyfriend go trolling for just some random.
It seems like, and I know it sounds weird, but it seems like the
last thing an 8-month pregnant chick would be interested in. I don't know.
Perhaps.
I'm just going on personal experience.
Perhaps.
But
I agree. I think that I'm surprised to see that an 18-year-old and a 25-year-old are tagged to that behavior.
Right.
I would expect that you'd go
like some 43-year-old.
Yeah. I don't know why I feel like that, but it just seems like
it seems too young to be into that kind of weird stuff.
Yeah.
Hasn't lived enough life yet to kind of be into that.
Yeah, you haven't exhausted all the excitement that you can get from just the normal sex.
Right.
That you need to be like this, 8 months along, waddling down.
Plus random dude.
Yeah, thrown in the mix. Like, and I don't mean to make light of it or find it funny at all. It's a terrible story.
It's just hugely dangerous behavior, though. Come on, people.
And to each their own, whatever they're into. Sexually, honestly, I could give a shit. I couldn't care less. And I don't mean to make light of it. It just seemed really kind of odd the way that statement was made. Like, really? You think it was some sort of head trauma, seeing as he's missing his head? Seems a little like, duh. Ugh. Well, anyway, yeah. Had you guys heard of that story at all?
No. I did. Really?
I mean, I would think
it's funny
that
how Grand Rapids can be somewhat disconnected from us still a bit.
It still seems close enough that.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
As brutal as that story was, though.
I agree, and it's a big enough city; it ought to have filtered over.
Yeah. Because when you realize that stories like this filter over, it seems like that should clearly make it here from Grand Rapids. When in Philadelphia, you got Cliff Lee, who we've got the trade deadline is days away now. And sure to be one of the big names, almost certainly on the market. Cliff, 2 months on the disabled list. He got knocked around by the Giants, though, like worst outing of the year for him. He career high 12 hits, 10 of them singles, 6 runs, and 5 2/3. But more so than that, when he was given his post-game interview, he rips a fart at the end of it. That I guess, and I haven't even heard this yet, but apparently you can hear it on the camera. It picks up.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's check it out.
I want this team to win. I'm going to do everything I can to help that happen, and that's really it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Does he claim it?
Did you do a double in there?
Is it clear? Like, does he smile after that? We kind of lost the video right at
That's funny.
the definite fart.
This team to win, and I'm going to do everything I can to help that happen, and that's really it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's starting to laugh there. Starting to give it a little bit.
Nice, Cliff.
That's pretty funny. Worth mentioning. I still think the other story should make its way here to Detroit faster, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, did you see this? I thought this was kind of funny. George Harrison, they planted a memorial tree, the Beatle, the
I saw
ex-Beatle.
that, yeah.
They planted this tree for him, a pine tree in '04 in memory of George Harrison. Result of insect infestation, the memorial
Boy.
a beetle took down George Harrison's
Mm,
memorial tree.
bastards.
Yeah, I guess they're gonna replant it somewhere. Huh? That a tree beetle would take down a. We haven't heard much from our old pal Good Luck Jonathan in Nigeria. I know it's one of your favorites. It's one of mine too. This guy's clearly working his ass
Oh,
off.
yeah.
And
yeah.
it seems he can't get a break. Of course, that doesn't stop the Prez from plugging along and doing what he's got to do. It's a
We're
tough
honestly
job.
on more than 2 months.
Jay,
It could be
God.
close to 3 months that
These
these
things-
300 girls have been missing.
Yeah, well,
Things take time. Jay.
again,
There's a lot of
he didn't
paperwork.
take the girls,
Right.
right? He's trying to help. He's trying to help. Cut him some slack.
And Jay's just sitting here ripping them apart.
I know.
He's
It's,
got
his
like
efforts.
he's got like the Eric method of helping. I do shit. I just sit here on my ass and do nothing.
Well,
maybe something will happen.
Well, nonetheless,
well, again, I got to stress that he didn't kidnap him. It's not like he's got something to answer for. We know that President Good Luck Jonathan did not kidnap these girls.
We know that.
Yes. Well, nearly a dozen parents of the now they're just saying more than 200.
Yeah.
More than 200 kidnapped Nigerian schoolgirls have died.
How?
Well,
Just old age during the story?
yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
natural causes.
At least 11 of their parents have died around their hometown of Chibok, which is under siege still from militants. 7 fathers of the kidnapped girls were among 51 bodies brought nearby village earlier this month. At least 4 more parents have died of heart failure, high blood pressure, and other illnesses that the community blames on trauma due to the mass abduction.
See?
One father, 2 of the girls kidnapped just went into a kind of coma and kept repeating the names of his daughters until life left him.
Come on, good luck. That's what's
President-
happening to your people.
President Goodluck Jonathan met Tuesday with many parents of the 219 kidnapped Nigerian schoolgirls. Doing nothing, eh? He met with them.
Yeah.
For months, the parents have been asking to see the president. He finally agreed last week to a request after Malala, the activist, the 17-year-old.
Yeah, the Pakistani.
Yeah,
That's right.
Exactly. After she was like, GLJ, come on, meet with them.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, for you, Malala, I will meet with them. And he did. He was a man of his word, and he said, I'm on it, and he met with him. I mean, that's a stand-up move, man. Do you know how long you'd wait? They'd wait 2 months to meet the president? Call up Obama and see how many months it is before you and Barack are in a room together. Just try.
Great point.
Plus, we had the World Cup in the interim, and
Exactly.
GL Jonathan was in attendance.
Damn straight. 69 jersey on.
supporting the country. I mean,
Yep.
he was there for the country.
He's a patriot.
Yeah.
Nigeria, but a patriot nonetheless. The Associated Press has gathered information
59.
about the situation in the town where the students were kidnapped. More danger is on the horizon. Boko Haram is closing in on Chibok again, attacking villages ever closer to the town. Boko Haram filmed a video in which they threatened to sell the students into slavery as child brides. It also showed a couple of the girls describing their conversion from Christianity to Islam. That's nice. At least 2 have died of snake bites of the kidnapped girls. A mediator who was a liaison with Boko Haram told the AP 2 months ago. At that time, he said at least 20 of the girls were ill. Not surprising, given they are probably being held in an area infested with malaria and relying on unclean water from rivers, etc. Most of the schoolgirls are still believed to be held in the Sambisa forest, a wildlife reserve that includes almost impenetrably thick jungle, as well as more open savanna. Sightings of the girls and their captors have been reported in neighboring areas there. But their families that are, they say that the town's population is super under stress because of all this. But GLJ is saying, listen, I know where they are. We know where they are, but I can't in good conscience risk the health and safety of these people on my watch by just, going in there and guns a-blazing. We'll get these girls killed.
He's got a plan. Yeah.
I mean, someone's got to keep a level head there, and thank God GLJ is doing that, looking out for him.
I just love that. I love that listener email. This reminds me. the guy who went golfing, and he walks up. I think it was Ryan. Ryan goes golfing, and he walks up, and guy introduces himself as from an African country or so. Oh, where are you from? Oh, Nigeria. Oh, okay. Good luck, Jonathan, is your president. Yeah, and he's right on top of that girl situation. The guy looks at him like he's crazy and goes, oh, he is a very bad man. He has oppressed the people. He must go.
Yeah. Said the guy who has abandoned his country.
Yeah, exactly.
For the record, I'm just saying.
Right. What else would you expect? A guy that he's left the country, fled to America.
We're leading listeners astray on the story.
Well, I mean,
you are.
It's kind of twisted that you bring up a guy who's golfing in America, has basically turned his back on his own country, and is now taking pot shots at the guy who's actually trying to do something to fix this horrible situation back home.
That guy's a traitor. He's not
gonna do anything from the 17th hole. I can promise you that.
And an anecdotal example, I admit.
He's not gonna do anything from the 17th hole.
That's what I said.
That's why I repeated it because I was laughing.
There are families that are putting up 4 and 5 other families, adding that food stocks are depleted, livestock has all been looted by Boko Haram. Worst of all, no one is planting. Though it is the rainy season, there is a famine looming. Nearby villages are targets because they are enclaves of staunch Christians in the Muslim North Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it's... and then lastly, President GLJ insists his government and military doing everything possible.
There you go.
His words, not mine. Everything possible to ensure the girls' release. It knows where they are, but fears any military campaign could lead to their deaths. Boko Haram, in a new video released this week, repeated his demands that Jonathan release detained extremists in exchange for the girls, and offer Jonathan has refused. Yeah, he's not going to be pushed around, dude. GLJ is not one to be pushed around. We know that. They know that. Few residents believe all the schoolgirls will ever return home. Well,
few members of the Detroit cast believe that all the school girls will be returned.
Well, you're the
not all.
One. You're you.
I mean, I can't be held responsible for ones that get bitten by snakes and stuff, but I mean, on the whole, GLJ's got it. He's got it.
Fucked. He's so fucked.
Jay,
he's gonna come crawling for our help any day now.
Yeah.
You've been saying that for 2 months, Jay.
Right.
No, you know what's gonna happen is we're just gonna take over. We're gonna look, Jonathan, step aside, man. We got this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I think what are we gonna do? What are we possibly gonna do? Who knows the region better than GLJ 69?
Exactly.
Nobody. So just throw that anywhere. Just chucked my phone on the ground. Excuse me. And then we'll get to emails in just a second here. But you guys showed me this story the other day, and it's one of those that if we don't do it, just keeps getting passed down, and it's too good of a story to move it along any longer. And it's kind of a toik. a different kind of toik, though. Daniel Watkins, high school English teacher in Connecticut, charged with sexual stemming from a relationship with one of her students. They've accused her of having a sexual relationship with an 18-year-old student. 18 years old.
I know.
And threatening to, here's the kicker, fail him when he tried to break off the relationship. That's awesome. You will put your thing in my thing. You will, or I will fail your ass. That's amazing. Authorities said that he'd had several, the student told authorities he'd had several sexual encounters with Watkins in her car between September and June of this year. The alleged sex took place during school hours, but not on school grounds. The teen also alleges Watkins, who is married with 2 kids,
Of course.
nice sidebar, sent him naked pictures of herself and allowed him to use her car, even though she was aware he was not licensed to drive.
Wow. What a nice girlfriend.
That's amazing. They've gone through her phone, which revealed more than 2,000 text messages sent to the teen, several hundred phone calls to him, and naked pictures of Watkins. Yeah. Nice.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Kind of saggy, don't you think?
Well, in addition, she faces charges for selling weed and a risk of injury to a minor for alleged involvement with a 15-year-old student, possibly the alleged victim's friend.
Yeah.
So this guy's getting play for his buddy as well. That's a good friend. Although at 18, would you be hanging out with 15-year-olds? That seems a little odd.
Well, he doesn't even have a license. This guy's clearly.
True. Yeah. Nice. You've got her titties circled and gross next to it.
I don't think they're gross looking.
Of
Well,
course you don't.
Well, oh, jeez.
yeah, I mean, she could definitely use a little lift,
Wow.
surgery or something. We could get her over to Dr. Rowe. She could take care of her. He could hook her up, get those things lifted right back up.
I can't believe in a situation like this. You said, 2,000 text messages / whatever back and forth. She's not just she's married and with kids. How is she managing a job, managing going home with your husband and doing things with your kids, and also on the sly? You're gotta be talking text every day, meeting and smoking down with some of these kids.
Well,
nailing them.
It went from, I think I said just this year, but it was September 2013 to June 2014. So it was quite a while. 2,000 texts is not.
Yeah. You're right. That's
This I predict is going to be like an identified psychological condition. If I was a student right now in psychiatry, I'd make this like my doctorate.
Yeah.
I'd study the shit out of this
There's
because
too
there's
much of
something
it.
going on.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
something going on that they would engage in such risky behavior in that role. It's crazy.
Didn't we hear a good theory recently from someone emailed us?
It was because of the younger.
No, it was what we discussed.
Yeah.
Just this idea that people that had
Moving on.
tenure are being moved out for younger. Sort of the party girls are moving in.
Yeah, and they're relatively close enough in age. It always seems a little odd. You think of sexual predators, you think of a 12-year-old with a 30-year-old. You think of a guy and a young child first off, but in these cases, when you see a 25 and a 17-year-old, it's like, yeah, it's wrong, no doubt, and illegal, but
yeah, you can see with phones and texting and sexting and all
Yes.
that shit how just one little thing can turn it and catches fire.
Yeah, I mean, girls, and I don't care what age the girl is, they love being complimented, and it wouldn't be. I think it'd be common for a teacher to and her students to maybe have her number. It'd be easy to get first off, and send a text like, "Oh wow, you look hot today, Mrs. Blah blah blah." Oh, stop it, Johnny,
Mhm.
and quickly that.
All of a sudden, she gets to be thinking over a glass of wine. I wonder if Johnny's serious.
Yeah, at 25, she's on the weekends. She's
Yep.
being a 25-year-old girl at the bar, and then a text comes over. Sorry, I was late with my homework, but you looked hot today
Yeah.
in class.
Yep.
And she's had a few drinks in her. Her husband's an asshole. He's golfing with his buddies all night.
Mhm.
Whatever. And
That's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's how it works.
Make fun.
Yeah, but this is clearly exactly what happened, though.
Bro,
Yeah.
I mean,
You come up with just bizarre
bizarre
stuff, man.
shit.
I mean,
that's
this
not
is-
even true. That is not even true. In fact,
It is true.
This was logically reasoned.
Whatever.
How quickly he came.
When I for instance, the man in the hotel room. I talked about the muscle thing, and maybe it was a depression issue, and that's exactly what it was. He was depressed. I was right.
Okay. One time.
Maybe I don't even remember it like that, but whatever.
Let's do a quick Ask Eric while we're on the subject of Eric. This is from a listener, Curtis, who writes in, and this is not his situation, but he presents it to you as an Ask Eric.
It never is.
I'm the parent of 4 very...
My girlfriend wants to know. My best friend wants to know.
Time to listen, Eric.
Oh, sorry.
This is your segment. Interruptions. I end up reading and rereading the same 2 sentences over and over.
I hate that.
I've become so frustrated to that. I have become so frustrated that I have stopped trying to read. Is it worth trying to pursue my passion again? What do you do, Eric?
Of course it is. You can't let these brats stop your love of reading. Man up. I don't know. Get the wife on them. Tell the wife I need to read for an hour and have her take care of them. I don't know. Be a man.
This is a woman writing in.
Oh.
I thought that. I wasn't going to say anything. But
what about the attention that you need to pay to your children?
Oh, so she's talking about reading in the middle of the day, probably. Middle of the day. Her
husband's 4 kids. They need attention.
Well, her first mistake was having 4 kids, but
Agreed. I'll give him that.
I might have to agree with that as well. I don't have 4.
What were you thinking if you thought you were gonna have a bunch of pieces? I don't know what to say. TV, we have internet. Just pop on. They'll be fine.
Simple solution.
I was raised by TV, and I turned out fine.
Shit. Raised by Simpsons. A few emails we need to get to. We've been slacking on this a little bit, so apologize. We've got one, and I'm not sure the first name, so I don't want to say, but...
Let me see.
Just say the last name.
I don't even see a name on there. But yeah.
All right, from Kirkpatrick. Although the show may not, this is kind of funny. Although the show may not be child friendly, thought you might like to know that every time I listen to the show and the opening song comes on, my 4-year-old comes running in, and when the song hits the high note, he always starts yelling, "The Detroit Cast wins!"
Awesome. How old was he? 4?
4.
Oh wow.
He's old enough to listen.
Yeah, it's fine.
He also gets excited when, as he says, the wolf howls, which is I do too. I have to admit, I get excited too.
We're at the Howl.
I always point out to everybody, hey guys, we're at the Howl. We're at the Howl.
It's time to get serious.
That's right. That's
game
when
face.
We buckle down. Game
Headphones on, bitches.
So thanks for writing in, Kirkpatrick. Dan.
There you go.
There you go.
Zizzy.
There's the wolf. Dan writes in. He says, thank you. Just wanted to drop you a line, say thank you for the work you're doing with the Detroit Cast. I am a loyal, appreciative listener and have been from the beginning. The show continues to get better and better each day. Downloading the show.
I don't know how to take that when everybody says that. Better and better.
Right, and it also means it was worse yesterday.
Yeah.
Or better today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, today sucks compared to tomorrow.
Maybe we're sensitive.
Well, better to get better than it's getting worse.
True.
Downloading the show is literally my first act of business. I know, literally.
Figuratively or literally?
No, it's literally his first act of business every morning. He does it every morning, literally.
Good.
I love the format, the topics you guys cover, and the way you guys play off one another on air. I will continue to spread the word. Thank you, Dan, about the show. And he showed his dad how to download it a couple months back, which is a huge accomplishment. If you knew my dad's inept relationship with electronics, I think we all have relatives like that.
Yeah, and not me so much. My dad is.
Yeah, your dad's always been huge with.
Yeah.
You should have seen the speakers Bob had when.
Had?
Well, yeah.
Has, yeah.
When we were just kids, though, we'd be bumming around the house. Don't go in that room.
Yeah.
My dad will kill us if you even touch that speaker.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But
still that way.
Speaking of spread. Liking the page and stuff like that is huge, but if you're willing to just quickly share it on Facebook, it would help.
Share what? The page itself?
Yes. Share our post, for example, tomorrow.
The link to the episode.
The link for tomorrow will be up at 5 a.m. You guys will see it. We love that you like it. We love the comments. If you're willing to quickly just share that to your friends, that'd be huge.
That's so big. Just because,
probably retweets too.
if that person has 500 friends, 450 of those might not even know about this thing, and they see something on their wall and they go, "Wow, Dan's listening to this every morning" or whatever.
Exactly. So our stuff gets circulated amongst friends, but if we can open up new friends, Brad, some great stuff. Just saying, he's been a long time listener. He claims to be one of these Drew and Zip guys.
Oh yeah,
they're growing
everybody
by the day, right?
Oh Jesus, man! If there were this many Drew and Zip fans, they wouldn't have been rated as lowly as they were.
and one day, like you say, if we ever get this thing, then they'll be like, "Oh, I've been listening to every episode. Yet we're not making any money right now. Yet they've all been listening the whole time."
Yeah, well, there are actually like 3,000 people listening to us right now.
Right.
Well, there'll be hundreds of thousands saying, "Oh yeah, I was there from day one."
Right.
All you motherfuckers listening, first guys, you're the only ones.
Using it as his drive-in. He gets it at 5 a.m. every morning, loves it, listening to both drives home or there and back from work. So I think a lot of people are doing that now, and that was our purpose, in doing this and the timing of it. So it's great to see people like that. Deborah, on a different note, writes in with a question about the pigman. We all know the pigman Hot Carl story.
Yep.
Her question is simply this: his car was in the parking lot. Didn't anyone see a child in the car? Nobody was in the parking lot and saw the child?
That same thing. I've thought that exact same thing. Like,
with tinted windows and everything, though, I imagine, people are just going about their day.
I guess I would just think, at least initially, a kid, as soon as it got warm, would be screaming bloody murder. Enough so that you'd hear it through a windshield or a door, You would just think, I mean, we've all walked by a car with a dog in it that starts barking its ass off. You can hear that thing all the way across the parking lot. And if you've got a kid in there screaming, a baby screaming at the top of its lungs.
He probably got quickly fatigued, though, So there was probably a window, you're right.
Well, obviously, if anybody saw or heard the kid, they would have called 911 or broken the window. We've seen that recently.
Yeah, right.
That happened last week, I think.
Yeah, in Texas.
Yeah.
But Debbie, we'll definitely be following the Pigman story as we
Hot
go.
Car. Well.
Exactly. Couple more real quick. We've got Ed, who's bent on solving Colombia's hippo problem. Remember we talked about Pablo Escobar's hippos that are out there. He basically says that we need to market it to rappers.
Make it the new cool thing.
He's got it all figured out. This is where all those hours of watching MTV Cribs is going to pay off. I've found a way to help the Colombians get rid of their hippo problem and end all future funding problems for the Detroit cast. What does almost every rapper or NBA player have in their house on Cribs? A Scarface poster and collection of gangster/drug dealer DVDs.
True.
Most of them also had a few big dogs of some sort. What could you sell to this uber wealthy group of people who have what they feel is unlimited income and want to think that they're drug kingpins? Pablo Escobar's hippos.
Yeah.
So basically, he goes on, but he wants us to convince them
that
they need it's badass, man. You got a fucking hippo in your $500,000 pool out back.
Well, it will never be badass if it's being told to you by a couple white guys in Detroit. That will never be cool. But if we can convince just one badass rapper that, dude, I saw some like in the hood up and coming rappers with their baby hippo. You could be the shit if you took on a full-grown hippo. Yeah. Just take one.
Yeah.
You get one, I'm trying to think, like, I don't know. I mean, if you could get Dr. Dre to take a hippo, it's off and running. It is. I mean, there'll be a run on hippos like you've never seen.
No, I mean, think about the Chihuahua run. You had Paris Hilton and her little Tinkerbell thing.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Well, yeah.
That was it.
No, it took Paris carrying her around with a stupid, some bling on it, and everybody, all of a sudden lap dogs are back,
Yeah.
Hippos, dude. Think about it.
That would be awesome. Now that you think about it, like you just be in your house and a hippo would just be there.
A hippo walks by the window instead of Izzy,
That I could see that in a comedy, like in one of those like.
Well, that Grandma's Boy. Remember he had the lion or whatever. Do you remember that movie or not? Grandma's Boy or the one where they're stoner movie where they're making video games.
Yeah. Yeah,
his druggie had got a lion or something.
A few people have done that.
Yeah.
Tigers.
Yeah. Every now and then in drug houses they'll find alligators and lions and shit. Real quick, last one. Cody writes in. He got Weird Al's new album the other day, the day before we were talking about it on the show. Every time I hear song number 2, "Lame Clam to Fame," I think you guys are somewhat familiar with this.
I don't know that one yet.
Lame clam to fame. He says, I think of Jay's story about Max and the burrito, so there must be something about a stolen burrito. Or a right-handed pitcher out of Detroit with husky
lame
eyes.
Claim to fame or lame clam
it's
to
lame clam to fame, obviously playing off claim to fame.
Yeah.
As Weird Al does.
I don't know that one.
Wow.
I've heard most of the ones he's put out so far, but I don't know that one.
Well, I thought it was really neat. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's been off the map. He's been literally off the grid for 10 years.
Yeah.
And popped immediately back into the mainstream by releasing 8 videos in 8 days and new songs, and all of them got amazing reviews. They really did get great reviews. I still haven't seen that damn video. I want to see it though.
So good.
The blurred line ones.
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
No, but I'll say what I did before. I think ultimately his big problem is that people are so sick of those damn songs by the time he comes out with his parody. I puke to even think about hearing that song again. I don't want to.
Honestly, it's so. Once you hear it, though, I
Nope,
swear to God,
not doing it.
Wow.
See the video. I guess the
love
video
it.
is really impressive.
First World Problems. That was another one he recently. And the thing, it was one called First World Problems. That's great too.
Oh,
just
is it?
railing on, it's some
Like being in America.
yeah,
and the
some
problems we have.
businessman going through just all.
Which
this
we joke about here all the time. Anytime we do the story on Nigeria, and it's like the things we bitch about here
I know.
yeah.
in our world's hilarious.
A little perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck, guys, and eat shit, Eric, of course. And he says, P.S. I love how eat shit, Eric is the new Drew Blows.
Oh wow,
We're working on it,
that's
right?
way
Hell
too
yeah.
big of a compliment.
Yeah. God, I would. Lastly, I was on Facebook for a minute yesterday, and I don't know what it is or why it irritated me so much, but I'm starting to see this happening more and more, and I just jotted down a couple of these while I was sitting there scrolling through it, of posts from people, and I don't know do people think that they're like really important or
Yes.
Yes.
like I know there's a fascination with celebrity, and everybody, like, you hear people say, you get into an argument with someone at a restaurant and it's like, I'm going to go on my Facebook page and you're done. I'm going to tell them about this experience. Like, ooh,
Oh, yeah.
your
Yeah, I hear
50 friends are going to hear you bitching about your experience at Dunkin' Donuts. Whoa. But I don't know. It just seems like if you're making a Facebook post, you're essentially giving people on the shoulder to go, excuse me, I got something really important to say. Right?
Yes.
You're interrupting people's days to go, excuse me for a second, hold on, whatever, and then spit something out. And so it seems like you want to have something to say if you're going to do that. And so, I want to be careful because these are local people that obviously do this, and I don't want to call people out. But Jim and Sarah were in a car accident today. Jim's okay. Sarah, not so much.
That's the complete post.
Yeah.
Hate it.
And so
Oh my
you're going,
God, what happened? Oh my God,
Yeah.
is she okay? Where is she?
Exactly.
Yeah.
prayers. Oh my
Just
God.
fishing.
Oh my God. What happened? What happened? What happened? What
Fishing.
happened? What happened? What happened? What happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh my God.
Well,
I'm glad you're doing this. This is fun. I've been on this bandwagon for a while with this stuff.
the baby shower is canceled. Down smiley face.
Oh,
God.
dude.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Either
That's
say
pretty
why
bad.
it is for one. Either say, well, bad weather. I mean, we need.
I mean,
sorry, when people.
And I looked at a picture, and it's not like we're in the first trimester where it didn't work. Like, this is someone who's like 7 months along, 8 months along. Like, okay, so why is it canceled? Did something like? There's only a couple reasons you would cancel a shower. Worst.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's officially the worst day of my life.
Oh, that's the worst one. That is the worst one.
The fuck? Okay. Over it. All of it.
See that all the time. I see that all the time from friends.
Just has not been a good day. Good grief.
Yep.
If you don't have kids, don't give advice when it isn't wanted or asked for. Just shut the hell up. That sums up my weekend so far.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And I love Facebook. That's the thing. I'm addicted to this stuff, and I still see that stuff, and it's so ridiculous.
Like, I don't know. It's fishing, right?
Mhm,
You're
yeah.
fishing for a bunch of people to go,
Yes.
oh my God, what happened? Oh my God, are you okay?
Pretty overtly so, yeah.
You know what I've started doing on some of these when people are like, I just don't know if it's worth it anymore. I'll put it in there. It's not. Like, I know that's ridiculous. I'm kind of being funny myself, but it just, you know what I mean? I get that I'm kind of putting myself in that story too, in a sense, but it's still just,
It just
I feel like
seems
someone
like
needs to say something negative.
it just seems like a whole bunch of people up on the ledge, just I'm up here on the ledge, hoping people go, don't jump, don't jump.
Well, yeah.
These just don't seem like worthy posts. Excuse me, hold on for a second. I'm over it.
Well, that's what they
just
say.
demanding that people go, over what? What happened? Tell me more.
Well, that's like with your boy in California, remember, Crazy Lips or whatever, and we would kind of talk.
Yeah, the mass murder.
And we talked about California. He murdered all the kids.
Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara.
Okay, yeah.
And we talked about at that point too with
Mother, father.
Yeah,
Rogers.
We just talked about at that point too, but it's just you're pointing it out here again. With the social networking, they talk about this with people. Everything is either positive or most people, if you go down your newsfeed on a regular basis, it's positive or negative. It's either flat out, I'm having a great time, I'm at the concert, me and my girl is just out on a night, or my life sucks, or FML, could it be any worse? There is no run-of-the-mill, it's nothing, you know what I mean? And it's just these extremes, and they say it's affecting society. It's getting to a point where it's starting to affect people because people even think they see their lives in only positives or only negatives, so people aren't able to now almost start to deal with a medium ground because everyone sees everything in positives and negatives, and it's from stuff like that.
The whole Facebook getting in trouble for the negative post survey, the little experiment they did on the sly. That's all based on that stuff. But I don't know. It just jumped out at me, and it was like, okay, what are people? What is this? What is this that people?
They're not thinking of it as you are, where you're tapping on the shoulder. It's just such a part of them now. It's just phones in your hand, and that's part of how you're socializing now.
I guess at no point, and maybe it's because we have an outlet, we go and can vent on a microphone, and people hear you. That there's not that need or want at any point. But I have at no point ever posted something like that I didn't really want to say to people. Like there's always a reason to share something or post something, and I don't know, I just don't get it. But so many people are doing it. I don't mean to call anybody out. I mean, so many people do it. So
just
obviously,
an observation,
yeah, it just jumped out at me like, God, this is really annoying.
I would say that it's not just a young. Like the thing is, some people might say, well, if you haven't had Facebook your whole life, so maybe people will think, well, you just haven't had this your whole life. Dude, most of the posts that I see from these are not even all just 16-year-old girls or 18-year-old girls. I mean, I have 35
moms doing the same thing.
Moms posting it on Facebook.
Yep.
FML, OMG, my life.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. Whatever. It's not like it's going to stop anyway.
No, it's not. But.
All right. Well, let's call it a day. That'll wrap up a Wednesday edition of the show. Thanks, everybody. Email is flowing well, so feel free to send one along if you'd like. We definitely will read it. The DetroitCast@gmail.com, and if you haven't signed up and registered on our site, please do so. Just take you a second, go there and click on the registration, fill it out for us. It'll hopefully be a big help as we continue trying to get closer and closer to monetizing things and all that sort of thing. So have a good rest of the day, everybody, and we'll catch you tomorrow for an all-new edition, a Thursday edition of the DetroitCast.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to God, watch you grow.